This is our family. This was our house. We had lots of room for stuff, things, lots of things, until we decided to do this trip and get rid of our things and go to this and that. Now you might be wondering why? For our family, it was simple. Less stuff, more freedom. That is Epic Aussie Family Adventures. Hey there, Tammy from Epic Aussie Family Adventures. Now, we may not be on the road anymore, but when I was on the road, we did a couple interviews, and one of those interviews is with Nick and Amy Smith from Ozlap. Now, they have been traveling around this beautiful country for over 14 months now, and I got the chance to catch up with them and have a chat with them. So check out the interview, and don't forget to hit like, comment, or share if you find that there was some value and you want to see more. Remember, I only did 2, so if you want to see more, you have to let me know. Thanks so much. Enjoy the video. What's your name and how old are your kids?
Nick and Amy, and we have Rebecca, who's 14, Zoe 13, Abby 10, and Jessie 8.
Well done.
Thank you.
And how long are you guys on the road for?
Oh, as long as it takes
I
to
love that.
get our way around Australia. So
Awesome.
we originally said 12 months, that extended to 2 years, and now probably a bit beyond that. So just depends with schooling where we're going with that as to when we finish.
What was your guys' reason for doing a trip like this?
You can answer this one.
10 years ago, my dad passed away very suddenly. Prior to that, we'd always thought about travelling.
Like every other grey nomad.
Yes, just never put a time of when we were going to do it. But when Dad passed away suddenly at 59, we sort of thought, well, we're not hanging around to see if we've all got a tomorrow type thing. So we decided there and then that we'd give ourselves 5 years based on where the kids were at with school, saving money, where we were at with jobs and studying as well. And gave ourselves a 5-year plan.
How did you go from that idea, being inspired, and taking that from your dad's death and going, hey, you know, this, we don't know how long we have. I think we sometimes trick ourselves into believing that we're promised forever.
Yeah.
How long did it take you from that idea and that moment you had that to actually being on the road, leaving the driveway?
Well, once we sort of worked out where the kids were at school, you know, where Nick was in regards to long service leave, I was thinking of studying, so that all sort of, you know, we had to incorporate all that into the time frame. So we decided to think 5 years.
Yeah.
We would, in an ideal world, be at a good place. Our youngest would have done 1 year of school. I would have completed my course and then done 1 year of work experience, and Nick would have notched up his long service leave. So, the 5 years just it fitted perfectly with where we wanted to be with everything.
But also setting a date as well. I mean, we could have quite easily said, 5 years. And if you don't set a date in 5 years to go, then that 5 years almost just keeps rolling over, and every year you keep saying 5 years.
That's right.
So we actually said the 1st of January 2015 we are going. That is our date. That's what we're working towards.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that was the hardest decision. To then think, all right, you've now set a date. This is going to be... Because like Amy said, we talked about this for a long time, and we'd always wanted to do it. But talking about it and actually setting that date was a massive decision. And then you start getting butterflies and you think, are we doing the right thing? And all that, like everyone does.
But it just goes back to that date.
You've just got to,
and
set
then
that
every
date.
decision we make after that
Was for the trip.
Yes, but then like if we had to make other decisions about things that were going to take a while, stuff like that, okay, well, how will that affect that date? That was always one of the main things.
Wow.
In regards to my schooling or, you know, anything like that. It's like, we could do that, but how will it affect our leaving date? Because we're all, you know, once we set the date, we were leaving then. There was no, you know, we could go, We can go the following year. No, that was just concrete. That
So you
day.
guys were really firm with each other. That
Yeah.
was what you wanted to do.
But having
Yeah.
said that, I did push the date out.
No, only by
3
19
weeks.
days. Yeah.
Yeah,
19 days, you even got it down. That's not quite 3 weeks.
yeah.
So instead of the
I
first, it
did.
was the 20th.
Yeah, it was the 20th. We ended up leaving, but yeah, that was through a charity event.
That was just to finalise a few things that
Yeah.
we'd been involved in and so forth. So
Well, that sounds a lot
Yeah.
better than, one day or someday,
Yeah, true.
right?
Yeah,
exactly.
true.
So, but that was the hardest thing. Yeah, definitely the date.
How did you think about how you're going to do it financially? Because everybody worries about that, getting on the road.
do.
They worry, how
Yeah.
are we going to do it financially? And for some people that just see the pictures on social media, they think, oh, yeah, that was easy for them. They don't see all the hard work that was put in
Yeah,
before.
absolutely.
So how was
Yeah.
that journey for you guys?
Well, we had budgets and we had ideas, and in a perfect world, we would have saved us a certain amount of money, and we didn't save anywhere as near as we wanted to. We paid off quite a few things. 2.5 years in to our 5-year plan, we got the car, and then it just sort of went on from there. It wasn't so much sort of saving up as much; it was more paying things off and reducing our debt and so forth, and increasing. Where we're at with what money we had and so forth. So
Excellent.
It
So
was
narrowed down your consumer debt and
Oh,
getting rid of
absolutely.
that, so you had
Yeah.
less obligations tying you
Absolutely.
to that
yeah,
life.
it was sort of
Absolutely, we did.
exactly. I mean, as I said, we were nowhere near what we wanted to, what we planned to have, but we went backwards. So, and regardless, that date was there, and we were leaving then. It just
But
means
so we're
have
kind of
to
lucky
work.
too. Yeah, we're going to work as we go.
Oh, fantastic.
So if that means that we get to a stage where we go, all right, we've spent enough now, we're going to have to stop for 3 months,
Yeah.
6 months, whatever it takes, then to keep it going, then that's what we'll do.
People at home, I guess, when they haven't done it, and I was one of them, I'd look at people doing it, and I thought it was so complex, and I don't know what I really thought when I was at home, but it's amazing. Now that I'm on the road, it's completely different once you're doing it. But a lot of people ask, what are you guys doing for meals and snacks? And it's probably simplistic, but if you guys just want to share what you guys do.
It hasn't changed.
Ours
that
has
much.
not changed at all from when we were at home. Our food bill is almost the same, isn't it?
Yeah, we
We
always
eat the
knew
same
we had to,
dinners,
Yeah,
we have the same snacks. So our dinners are sausages, stir fries, curries,
meat and veg.
meat and veg. We do that
Oh,
all the time.
gluten-free, so
Snacks are no different. We have rice cakes, we have fruit, we have packs of biscuits. It's no different to what we would do if we were at home.
yeah.
Um,
The only annoying thing is when you're going out for the day, you just look at that and think, oh, what are we going to take? And then you just grab everything and just chuck it in the back of the car, or
sandwiches,
we get
wraps,
organised,
all
or
those sorts of
sandwiches.
things.
Yeah, it's just we're lucky, or I'm lucky in that I don't have to do the whole make school lunches type thing.
Such a good point. Such a good point.
But now what we tend to do to make it easier, we just make one big bowl of salad in the morning, or I get one of the kids to do it, and then we put that in the fridge in the car, and then take a packet of wraps and the gluten-free bread, and away
There's
we
lunch.
Now, one question that can be hard or easy to answer, and I think you guys have been on the road for a long time now, so you have that extra wisdom. What's it like being around family 24/7?
go. Our family?
Can I answer first?
Yeah, okay.
I love it. Amy's going to say she doesn't. Well, not that she
No.
doesn't, but Amy's going to say she could do with some space.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I've got no problem with it at all. In fact, it hasn't been a factor apart from my third eldest, who just doesn't leave me alone. Yeah, I've loved it. I really have. And it's amazing that I've now... You think you know your kids. I know my kids now when I
You
didn't
can
really...
actually mean it when you say it.
Yeah, as much as you know them, and you do, but when we're at home, I would see them for...
You're going to see them in the morning.
Wouldn't see them in the morning, maybe
6
3
o'clock
hours
in
in
the
the afternoon.
If
You're not seeing them much. When
that
you're
was
with them
just
all the time, yeah, you
tell
get
them
to
to hurry
know
up and do
them.
their homework, or hurry up and do that.
So I've actually really enjoyed it and haven't felt, apart from when I go and play golf, but apart from that, I've thoroughly embraced it.
And I have too.
Okay.
I've enjoyed it as long as the van's not a mess, or there's nothing better than just lazing around, and it's not as if they're at us
Oh,
all
not
the
at all.
time, and we can all relax and just hang out together. There's no expectations of
Isn't that funny?
anything,
Yeah.
and
I've been amazed at how
muck
6 of
around.
us haven't wanted to kill each other living in 17 feet a van.
Yeah.
There hasn't been any of that at all. And let me tell you, 17-foot of van is not big
especially
by
when
any
it's
stretch
raining
of
I know.
any stretch of imagination. So I'm amazed that we haven't wanted to kill any of it. No one's wanted to kill anyone. I mean, yes, you have your days and so forth, but
it's not normally
not
the
where you want to kill people.
It's not each other
No.
that makes us want. It's outside factors, the schooling, my studying. A little bit more tense if I've got an assessment due or something like that. Or
I'm pretty relaxed all the time.
We've had a few hot nights, so we don't sleep as well, and
No,
so
I've
we're
been
all
pretty
a
good.
bit, we're all a bit cranky in regards to that.
Not
But
all of
it's
us.
never each other.
No, I've been pretty happy all the time.
So
Pretty good. Slept like a baby.
So yeah, it's never really from each other
From
that we
each
get
other,
annoyed.
an
It's
issue.
just the outside factors that and one of them, the main one is school.
Yeah,
So that makes us all a little bit cranky, and that's where we all
Does not.
We've had a few storm outs, and people just put things down and gone for a walk. That was probably day 2 of the whole trip.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
fun.
So it's we all get along really well, and don't find we annoy each other or anything like that. It's just when the outside factors come in.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
But then you have them at home as well.
that's right.
So-
That's right. You
so
tend
you
to
have
know
to
each other. I love what you said earlier about not having any expectations within the family.
Yeah.
Well,
I found after the first month we had settled in, and our family, even though things have been up and down, it's been interesting to note that our family has never laughed as much or been more
Yeah.
comfortable around each
Correct.
other, or like all of us are on a little tiny double bed last night
Yeah.
watching a movie,
Correct.
and we all want to be there. And
Absolutely.
so being on the road for as long as you have, do you guys miss anything?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, please do.
No, ladies before gentlemen. Go for it.
I miss obviously the coffees that I used to have with my best mates. But I can live without them. I can, I still contact them. I just don't have. I sit there and have the coffees by myself. But I miss our extracurricular events. Like we were involved heavily with the netball and the life saving. So much so that Nick and I were on, or more so Nick, with the sports, we're on committees, and when we were involved we helped organise things and so forth, and we had a really good bunch of adults, parents of the kids, and the kids had a really good bunch of friends in that community, so we miss that community. A few of them are coming up here to Broome in a few weeks to do some life-saving carnivals and so forth, so we're looking forward to that. But we
I
just
think it's more to see us,
well, yes.
and it's just
A
lucky
bit
a
of both.
carnival's on.
Yeah, a bit of both. But we miss
Awesome.
that, the community feel.
Definitely,
so forth.
definitely.
So,
And do you
nothing
feel
else.
like you've got your own community now that you guys have built? Like
we're
being on the road
beginning
this way?
to, now that we're up here,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
it was hard because the way we've come from Melbourne up to Alice Springs, and then we stayed up there for a bit, and then everyone else kept moving on, so we'd sort of wave at them as they went, and then we came back down and then across to Perth, so we were doing the opposite.
Ah, gotcha.
So we haven't met as many people doing the similar things.
Yeah.
In the last month, we've met quite a few families that are doing similar things. They've moved on, but we're keeping in touch with them and so
Awesome.
forth. So I'm beginning to feel, especially being here just in the past couple of days, that we've met a lot more people. Doing a similar thing, and that you do create that. Everyone. I've liked you on Instagram, Facebook, and follow you on Instagram, and so we're starting that
Yeah,
sort
you're
of
right.
community
That's true.
more so because there's more people doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel as soon as we hit after Port Lincoln in South Australia, but even more so up this end of Western Australia, there seems to be running into a lot of families.
Yeah.
But Nick, what do you miss?
I miss the
Yes,
footy.
so do you.
The footy. Now,
Yeah.
playing footy or
No,
watching?
no, watching. I used to go every week with my brother to the footy, so that's one thing that I've missed dreadfully, which was a big part of my life, going to the footy for a couple of hours a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've missed that,
It's
and
lovely.
You love it.
and I know that he's missed it as well. But then the sporting communities I've really missed.
Yeah.
And our friends from those sporting communities that we had a really close bond with, but and that's been a bit hard because I've kind of still been involved too. So I've been doing social media stuff for the sporting organisations.
Oh, wow.
Because I can do that remotely. You know, they might send me an email and say, "Can you post this?" or send me a text, and I still do stuff for them. And then I see them doing stuff, and I think, "Oh, I'd like to be there for that." Like last night was presentation night.
Oh, wow.
And I thought,
When they have
oh, it would have
state
been
jams.
nice there. And yeah, and when they have carnivals and stuff. So that would be it. So I miss that, but the things I don't miss certainly outweigh the
Yeah.
things I miss, for
And
sure.
the impact that they had on our everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. Both of the things that you mentioned, you know, a lot of people think when we're packing up or we're deciding to do this trip, we run through in our heads of the things that we're going to miss.
Yeah,
And at that time, I must be honest, a lot of them I thought were things.
yeah.
But what
Don't
you
miss
both
any things.
mentioned weren't things. So is it fair to say, do you miss any things?
No. No, I don't think so.
I've been able to sustain my
I've been
coffee love, my love of coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's okay. But it's funny. I don't know whether you're talking about houses and possessions.
Materials.
Yeah, material.
And I was would love to get home from work and put Foxtel and watch television, and I would sit and watch.
Football channel.
I would be amazed that I haven't really missed television at all,
Amazing.
which is what I've done for 38 years of my life, or 30 years of my life. And just,
You've read more books.
I've definitely read more books, which I've never done before in my life, but just to sit outside of a night time and not do anything, I didn't think I would do that, but yeah, I definitely am now. So yeah, I haven't missed anything material-wise at all.
No,
Okay.
there's
Let's talk about your tow vehicle first because it's conveniently right behind you.
Yes.
So
This
what
is you,
do
obviously.
you guys have?
We have an absolutely beautiful 2011 twin-turbo diesel Toyota Land Cruiser, which is, I
This
just
comes
love
after
it.
the family.
Talking about possessions, I was lucky because if I had a car, I was lucky to bring mine with me. So, yeah, it is a Toyota Land Cruiser. I love it. It's one of my favourite things in
A
the
lot
world.
of add-ons.
A lot of add-ons, and it costs a lot. And I put a lot of stuff on for this trip, thinking I was going to need it.
Yeah.
Probably didn't need it, and probably could have saved a lot of money.
But we haven't done our two most
But
things yet.
but I'm still not disappointed I've done them, because if something had happened and I hadn't had protection or had run out of fuel and didn't have the jerry cans on the back or something like that, I
Exactly.
would be absolutely ropeable with myself. So I'm glad I've done it. Yeah, so that's our tow vehicle. Yeah,
Yeah.
Very happy with it.
Excellent.
but love it. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
a Land Cruiser too.
Yeah.
Toyota Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
We have one, and we are so pleased with it.
And
We've
a
had
lot of
quite
people say, "Oh, it's big," and they're a massive car, but with the 4 kids, they're only getting bigger. We've all got plenty of room. It's comfortable. It's quiet. It can
And
go
it's
fast if it has
reliable.
to. It's reliable. Touch wood, we haven't had any trouble with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it.
It
Love
was a
it.
big
Love it.
decision too, which, you know,
Oh, we never
Land
spent so much
Cruiser
money.
Patrol, you know,
And we've never spent so much money on a car in our lives. It was almost as much as our first house.
handing that check over.
Yes.
But what I try and explain to people too is that is our house now. But between that and the van,
That's right.
that's our house. So in total, I think it's about $140,000 worth of house that we've got here, which is a very, very cheap home to live in.
That's right.
When you compare it to if we had a home somewhere.
Definitely. There's people that have mortgages that are 400, 500,000.
Thousand. That's right. So
If we don't like the weather we're having at home, we move.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our tow vehicle.
There's a lot of flexibility.
Yes, I would
Yeah.
love for that vehicle to go on my answer.
I love it.
So tell me about the camper.
Can I just say the camper before we do? It is known as Silver Fox. That's its name.
Silver.
I can feel your love, Nick.
Yeah, I love Silver Fox. Hashtag Silver Fox. Our van is
Our second.
this is our second van for the
Caravan.
trip. It's a Jayco Expander. Off-road 2015 model. We started with a pop-top Jayco Swan the start of the trip, and within 3 months we realised that it just wasn't, not that it wasn't big enough for us, and it was small, but storage-wise we just didn't have enough room, and there was a lot of stuff outside that had to stay outside when we were camping.
And
Yeah.
to live in it was.
So we upgraded on the way, and that's why we had to wait for it to get built, and we went back to Victoria to pick it up. So we're very happy with this. There's plenty of room in it. It's nice and easy to tow. It's not going to stop us from going anywhere, which was my biggest concern about getting a bigger van. I didn't want a bigger van to say when we get to the Gibgo we can't go there because of the van's too big or whatever.
But we also realised we didn't need the biggest and the best of things to be able to go somewhere. We know it's mass produced and all that, but it's worked for us, and it sort of more comes down to how we treat it and how we drive and so forth.
Definitely. And there's
So-
been the Jayco Expanders. There has been so many we've seen
A
on
lot.
the road.
There's a lot
And
of
we've
them.
talked to
Yeah.
families over and over again, and they're all very happy. And
Yeah.
I've walked inside one myself, and I
Yeah.
swear it's about the same length as our own van.
Yeah.
Once it
You
You
comes
just don't
out.
have
That's
the
right.
beds.
Because
That's
it's
right.
once you've add the
And
beds
it
on,
fits
it's
all of us in there. So
comfortably.
Which
Yeah.
is what heading up to croc country, which is what I like. That we don't have the kids outside in the annex.
Yeah,
They're all
exactly.
inside, up off the ground, away from the crocodiles.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's nice.
I set up for free camping.
Yes.
We have solar panels, plenty of water, battery system is all your thing and works well. Yes.
Yes, we are. We're full,
Absolutely.
and that was a given. We had to be, and we would
Haven't
probably
done as
like
much.
to do much more than what we do now. But Western Australia is very hard to do it in.
That's great.
Every other state you can
Easier.
free camp a lot more. Western Australia's hard. So at the moment we're finding it a bit difficult because we've got to do more van parks. But once we get out of here, then we'll definitely do more. And yes, we love free camping and
And the main thing with the
Being
free
by
camping is I
ourselves.
can still have a good coffee.
You can still have a good coffee. Do you have a coffee machine?
Yes.
Now, being on power, yes, but when we're off,
Oh,
we have
yeah.
the little
we have a stovetop,
stovetop thing.
proper
Stovetop.
Italian percolator.
Wow, you guys
So as
will
far
have
as I'm concerned, we're now free camping.
been your biggest challenge so far this many months on the road? 16 months on the road. Biggest challenge, just one.
Personally or as a couple?
What is it?
Oh, I like the one as a couple. Let's go that one.
School. School's had to have been the
Oh,
biggest
it's
challenge.
communicating sometimes. You and I.
Touche. Yeah, that's a
Well, our private conversation always involves Abby.
very, very good point. But I
Or you're
wouldn't have
talking
thought.
and they go, "What do you mean? What does this mean?" Like talking to your father. So
Yeah.
that's been my biggest challenge.
No, but it's as a
So-
couple. We're not doing individual
as a
ones.
couple, yeah.
So what's yours as a couple, Nick?
Oh, no,
What's
school
your
would-
individual one?
School for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you
school,
communication.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with both, definitely. And I know that for us, we don't have conversations by ourselves anymore.
No,
'cause
Yeah.
we're
It's-
always-
That's right. They're
And
always
if you
there.
do, if it's about the children
They're
or
always
you
there.
have to sort of,
Yeah.
so they can't hear and so
That's
forth.
right.
So, but yeah, we don't have to have a lot of that.
Yeah.
We're on a similar standing with how we parent anyway, so we don't have to go, well, I didn't think, I didn't agree with what you did in that case. But yeah, communication's hard sometimes.
Yeah, communication's a hard one. I think it's ongoing learning for everyone, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Individually, mine is making sure the fridge runs properly.
Yeah, that's
I've
it.
had some major problems
Oh,
with that.
so
That's a
have we.
worry.
It's
yeah.
fun, isn't it?
That's hot up here. Anyway,
What has been the best part so far?
man. That's a tough
What has
question.
been the best part?
Just one thing each.
It's not really a place we've been to, or
I would think one of the best parts for us would be when our children cooked us a 3-course meal on our wedding
Oh,
anniversary
Oh, wow.
and didn't kill us.
and didn't kill us.
Wow.
I would think that was pretty good. And they bought a candle that was run by a battery so it didn't blow
'Cause we were
out in
free
the wind.
camping.
We were free camping. I think that was pretty cool.
That show, yeah, that meant a lot. So, because we didn't try and, we didn't say, oh, this is what we want. They just did it off their own bat.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
And the fact is they had time to do it and all that was back in our previous life.
Wouldn't
have
have happened.
that time.
You just don't have the time. That's a big one.
And
isn't it?
also, I do love unwrapping presents that are wrapped with foil.
We haven't tried that one yet.
Oh, well, we never have wrapping paper on hand. So
Oh, yeah,
foil
Mother's
is
Day.
fantastic.
I could have used that last night instead of $20 into my budget of wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We've used tin
So-
foil quite a number of times on
But
presents
it is hard.
because we haven't
Yeah,
got.
it is hard to pinpoint. But yeah, just things involving, obviously, the way we treat each other has really been the best thing.
Wow, and it sounds like your kids have really soaked that up and
Yeah.
they're
And
putting
it-
it into
yeah.
action. Like it's-
Exactly, it compounds. The reason why we're doing this makes it.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool when our eldest two were gutting a squid. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Down at Moonta Bay.
Oh, I didn't see that. So.
That
See,
was
I
pretty
love
cool.
this because it's not about the place we went, and it's that town that made it for us. These are experiences
No.
about your
Absolutely.
family.
And there's
Yeah.
been some incredible places, don't get me
Of
wrong.
course.
There's some unbelievable places that we've loved. But, yeah,
But the way we look at it, we could have gone there just the two of us, and it wouldn't have been the same.
no,
It's
no, I
funny that,
know.
isn't it?
So it's
No,
never
I
really
know.
the place.
And in
It's,
fact,
you know,
even
who
when
we're with and the mood they're in.
even when
It's so true.
even when they cooked that dinner for us for our wedding anniversary, we had the entree together outside, and we made them come and have main with us because it just wasn't the
weren't gonna-
same with it. They were going to
they
eat
were gonna let us
inside, but
have
just
a-
leave it and have the
candle
candle lit, but it just wasn't the same without the kids being there. So they came
So
out and we made them come out
outside
and
sit
eat.
with us.
See,
Yeah.
and that's
'Cause that's what-
wow.
Because that was just as important having them there. They're part of our life and our wedding anniversary.
And wow, you taught them so much then.
Yeah.
Just in that
So-
by that one action, you taught them
Yeah.
so much by
Yeah.
doing
Hopefully,
that. Not just
yeah.
it's kind of like you give back to each other. I love that.
Yeah.
It's why you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
For those thinking about it now, those at home,
Yeah.
those at home that are looking at you and going, "I wish that I could do that. I want to do that, but I don't know how." What advice would you guys have for them?
Oh, just in one sentence, or
keep
have
an
you got
eye
a
out.
day?
Keep an eye out on ozlap.com.au for the starting up kit that's going to be coming out soon.
Make the
One
date.
bit of advice.
Make the date.
You can do it. Anyone can do it.
Make the date and stick to it, and then base any decisions around that date.
And we've had so many people say to us, "You're so lucky. You're so
Oh,
lucky." We're not
yes.
lucky at all. We're no different to any other family.
If we had a one-tap slotto, we would have been lucky.
Correct. So we might be lucky.
Could still be
But we're not lucky. We're just gutsy enough to make that
make the
decision
date and make it happen.
that we're going and it's going to work out. Nothing's going to go wrong. The world isn't going to fall apart because, and I mean, we're a bit different because we sold our house and everything. We've upped and left. It's not going to, nothing's going to fall apart and the sky isn't going to come crashing down just because we've done that. Anyone can do it. Anyone.
That's right.
And-
That's really good.
Regardless of
And I don't care
how
whether
much
you
you
are
owe,
a
how
multi-billionaire
much
and
you
own a
don't
big
have.
company. If you want to do this, you can do it.
you
If
can make things happen.
if you're a low construction worker or whatever you are, if you don't earn much, it doesn't matter. You can still do it
So true.
somehow. It doesn't, and it's your journey. That's the thing.
Do
You got,
it in a tent or caravan.
that's right. It doesn't matter what other families are doing. It's your journey. So you make it whatever you want it to be,
Excellent.
and don't worry about what other people are doing or how they're doing it.
Yeah. And like we say to the kids, like what we say to the kids, don't say I can't. Oh yeah, people say, I couldn't do that. Like, well, don't say I couldn't. Just say how can I do that? It's sort of there's always a way around
course.
things. Even if you got no
Yeah.
money,
Love that.
there's always a way around. So if it just means you line up a job on the road for 6 months, you can then do it. You
course you
have
can.
you have
You're doing
restrictions in that you have to be at the next place by a certain amount of time to do that job.
That's right.
But it makes it more
You're
achievable.
still
And
It's still out doing it.
so yeah, just
Yeah. No, thank you.
make
for
the
that.
date and make it happen. And it's such a cliche, my God.
It is, but it's so
But
true.
let me tell you, it'll be
It's
the
so
best thing
true.
you've done. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's different, but I've just loved it. And it's gone, 16 months has gone like that.
Yeah.
Still feels like we left not that
Yeah,
long
you
ago. It
still
doesn't
keep yourself.
feel like we've been on the road nearly 2 years or a year and a half. Yeah, anyway.
And you learn to love the wake up in the morning. And go, oh shit, where am I?
Yeah,
I know.
that's a great
Tomorrow's
feeling.
moving day for us, and
Yeah.
we're like, oh, we love moving day. Where are we
Yeah,
going
so do
now?
we.
What new
Yeah.
adventure is going to happen?
Absolutely.
But then that night, like even if you wake up during the night and you need to go to the loo or something, you step out of the van and go, "Where am I again?
Where's
And
the
which
loo?
way is this toilet block?"
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. Or if you meet new people and they say to you, "Where'd you come from?" and you
You
both
go-
stand there blankly looking at each other, and you can't remember for anything.
Victoria?
Or someone says to you, have you been to such and such? It was great. And you go, yeah, we've been there, but where was that again?
Yes,
Someone said to me the other day, Exmouth. It wasn't that long ago we were in Exmouth, and I'm thinking, Exmouth? Which one was Exmouth? So many beaches we've been to.
That reefy thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Niggly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. See?
That's
So,
right.
Yeah.
Hang on. What did family and friends say when you said, we're packing up and we're leaving and we're going to do this crazy trip around Australia? What kind of reaction did you guys have?
They didn't really. No one really said anything. Being very diplomatic here. No one really said anything, but you could sense the disbelief.
Mm.
No one believed we'd do it.
no one.
We tried not to speak about it so much in the early days. Like we just set that, that date between ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's hard because you're excited. You want to tell people. Hey,
Yeah.
we're
You wanna
going
tell
to
everyone.
Australia, yeah.
Exactly. So we
It's like when you're
tried to
pregnant
hold
for the
off.
first time,
hold off as long as we could, and then
Yeah.
we sort of started mentioning it. And I suppose too, even saying it out loud to other people, was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to follow through with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. But the general amount of acquaintances, school communities, and stuff like that, were like, oh, that's great, that's great. A bit closer to home, family probably didn't really believe us as much.
No.
It was sort of, it was a little bit hard. We didn't have great farewell, but it wasn't a great time though as well.
Mm.
Sister-in-law was diagnosed with
Grandma.
life-threatening disease and so forth. So in the end, we wanted to just take off, under the radar anyway.
Yeah.
So we didn't want anyone coming to say goodbye, but at the same time, no one sort of showed any interest.
It's very common to hear that on the road. I hear it all over because I was looking for some sense of connection with anyone. I'm going, did you have support when you left? And it was really reassuring, I suppose, to understand that I was in the normal category because everyone I met had, different circumstances of different people who weren't going, yes, you do it, you go.
Yeah.
And we need those people that say you can't do it or say that they don't believe you're doing it because they're the ones that keep you going.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah, I'm doing it.
And it's funny because the other thing for us too is there's a gentleman or a family that lived in Melbourne that did a DVD called Steve Bale from Expeditions Australia, and he did the Tempe
really focused on
Yes.
a 10-issue DVD. And I've contacted Steve a couple of times, and when we watched and we've watched his DVD, we've still got it now, and we pull it out and have a look where they did what they did in areas. But when we first watched it and saw that they had parents, family and friends,
I didn't have a huge.
helping them hook up the trailer and
Yes.
looking after the dog and waving goodbye to them, I thought, oh, well, that's how it is. That's what happens when you leave. And then
They may have no, but okay.
Yeah,
They
didn't happen.
may have left
Yeah.
on a weekend. May have left on a weekend, and when no one was working, and everyone could come and say goodbye. I can't actually remember when we left, but I think it was a weekday.
was a weekday.
Everyone was at work, so
Yeah, but that was the same with us.
yeah.
That was the same with us as well.
Yeah,
But
So-
you do. You see that and you go, that's the way it's supposed to
that's
be,
right.
and then it doesn't
Because that's the
happen.
first people we'd seen go, and that's what I was thinking. But anyway,
Yeah, there's no ticker
Doesn't
tape parade, was there?
no
We might get
waving
that on the
down
return.
street. Yeah,
You
maybe.
definitely would get that on the return. I just have a feeling.
Maybe.
We might not get back there.
That's
Yeah,
right.
well,
Who
that's
knows?
right. That's
Who
right.
knows?
Well, I want to thank you guys for your time and sitting down with me because so many people want to know what other families are doing, and I try
Including
and tell.
us.
I try and tell people one at a time,
Yeah.
But I think it's so much more better when you guys can come in front of the camera and share your story with me so I can share it with everybody else. So
You're
thanks
welcome.
for taking the time.
You're welcome. Thanks for
Yeah.
having us.
Now, before I go, because we've got the beautiful Ozlap beside us, and I've been
Silver
following
fox,
Nick and
yeah.
Amy for some time, and was quite excited to meet you guys because I seen them drive past ever so slowly, and I'm like, oh my God, there they are. And so tell me a little bit, because you guys have some pictures up on your site for sale as well. And where can people find you? Where can they follow you and your adventures of great pictures?
You can find us at Ozlap, www.ozlap.com.au.
Excellent.
Or that's our website, or on Instagram at Ozlap, or Facebook Ozlap Info.
Awesome.
Yes.
Great. So I'm going to put those links down below on my website and on the YouTube video. So
Lovely, thank you.
people will be able to find that and connect with these great people.
Absolutely.
So thanks again, and
Thank you for
travel
having
safe,
us.
and we'll see you on the road.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You can find Nick and Amy at Ozlap. There's the details. Thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to the next interview and showing you what life is like on the
Hang
road.
on.
So we're ready.
Yeah. Not going to speak much.
Oh, no.
Cut. Check
I only took the
1, 2. Check
microphone out
1, 2.
once.